When Battlefield 5 was announced via the Isolma Easter egg, we were told that Battlefield would never be the same. Players were left speculating as to what that exactly meant, and thanks to EA, I was able to fly out to EA Play and get hands-on with the pre-alpha build and learn exactly what they meant. Here are 4 changes that are going to affect you, how you play, and why Battlefield will truly never be the same again. Number 1. Movement changes. DICE is attempting to make one of the most robust and immersive movement systems with the new Battlefield. You are going to be able to approach each scenario differently and use your positioning to get the upper hand in a firefight. New prone mechanics, sliding, climbing, rolling, and momentum-based interactions will all dictate how you move in Battlefield 5. These changes will allow you to get creative and think tactically, and for the most part, all movements were executed seamlessly. I was able to use the new prone slide mechanic to check my corners in a new and unexpected way, or spring up and grab ledges to gain access to higher places than I normally would be able to. Your ingenuity in a firefight will prove to be your most valuable asset. When you get hands on the new game, make sure you really take the time to get the hang of the different movements, as building muscle memory is going to be vital to your survival. The second change that will force you to play differently is the new scarcity mechanics. You spawn in with far less ammo than in previous Battlefields, and personally, I found myself running out of ammunition or gadgets far more frequently. I then had to assess my situation. Do I continue to push forward, find a support, or fall back to a resupply station? Another option is to find an enemy's resupply station and hold it for yourself and your allies, and this is a great way to establish a foothold behind enemy lines. One of my favorite moments during the capture event was when I was doing just this. I got behind their lines, held a station to not only prevent them from using it, but to keep myself alive. Infantry aren't the only ones affected by these changes either. Vehicles will not regenerate ammo on the fly like in past Battlefields. You will need to be careful with how far in you push with your tank, and you may need to fall back to a friendly point to resupply. Planes are also affected, and you will need to fly through special zones above your spawn area to resupply. Be careful though, you're going to be flying pretty low and slow, so you will be slightly vulnerable. Ammo isn't the only thing that's scarce now either. Infantry and vehicle health are now more hard to come by, as auto healing or self repairs are only going to get you so far. You will need to seek out a medic or a resupply station if you are hurt on foot. If you're in a tank or an aircraft, you will be able to self-repair up to a certain threshold, after which you will need to fall back to a friendly repair station or find an engineer to patch you up. One of the best practices you can do now is to move with your team. If you are in a tank, for instance, make sure you have friendly infantry protecting your flanks. Not only are they going to protect and repair you, but your actions as a team will make capturing points easier and your resupplies will become more frequent. The third biggest change is all about weapon mechanics. I covered how spread is changing in a previous video, as well as explaining in depth how it works currently in Battlefield 1, so I won't spend too much time here on that. Just know that weapons feel much more in line with firing them in real life, and instead of turning to an enemy and holding left click to win, and let's be honest, we all do that with SMGs in Battlefield 1, you will need to rely on your reaction time, shot placement, and recoil management to survive any firefight. Hipfire will not be a crush that you can rely on reliably for any engagement past about 5 meters. And even then, you may be better off in some situations repositioning and ADSing. Weapons also feel like they have weight and actual impact. Each weapon takes a specific amount of time to aim down the sights, and this feels realistic from my experience. Some weapons, like the beefy MG34, are unable to be ADS'd while standing. You're going to be forced to bipod if you want to use the sights on that weapon. This simple change made that weapon fill a niche for the defending role. Going prone and using a bipod is not something generally advantageous to an attacking team who is always on the move, but a player who is defending his objective and has clearly marked lines of sight will be able to dominate with it. The fourth and final change that will really shake up how you play the game is the new spotting mechanics. Before we got our hands on the build, we were told that spotting was changing, but we weren't really sure how. Well, now we do. To simplify things, 3D spotting by pressing a button is gone. You can still spot, and your player will still give a callout of what they see, but instead of the icon following the player or vehicle, the Dorito will actually stay in the location that you marked, not the vehicle or player. 3D spotting as we know it is not entirely gone, however, but instead it is restricted to a gadget. In the build that we played, the Recon class had access to a spotter scope, and this could be used to mark targets. One interesting to note, however, is the game actually tracks lines of sight correctly, so if you spot a target and they go behind a tree or a wall, their spotting icon will disappear almost immediately. So to put this into practice, stick close to cover. And that way, if you ever feel exposed or spotted, duck down and reposition yourself before trying to re-engage. This is going to cut down on your frustration and prevent you from getting domed by a sniper 300 meters away. An important thing to note about spotting, currently shooting does not put you on the minimap. This could change in future builds, and I would expect and also like to see it return in some form, since suppressors were more common sight during the technological advancements of World War II. This would give suppressors a tangible benefit as opposed to just reducing loudness and muzzle flash. There we go. There were 4 ways that Battlefield 5 is going to change up your gameplay. There are a lot of things changing with the new title, and the franchise as a whole will truly never be the same again. Once again, I want to thank EA for flying me out to get hands-on with the new Battlefield, and I have a lot more videos coming out, so stay tuned and subscribe for more information so you can have the upper hand come October when Battlefield 5 launches. My name is Shadox Films, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.